Oh, I'm making this video about tithing because there seems to be quite a few pastors on here using the scriptures to correct the people into saying that, oh, this is not my opinion, it's in the Bible that you are to tithe. And then they're taking those scriptures and twisting it to make it be all about them. And we're supposed to expose evil, and this is a correction and a guidance. Okay, yes. Oh, there's deer. Check it out. You see the deer? See them? There's two. There's like one and then two waiting to pass. It's okay, you can pass. Go ahead. This is too cool. Anyway, hold on. I'm gonna take a because I'm just gonna pause this real quick and let the deer go by. We're gonna walk past the deer. Watch, there's two of them. Jane, mind your manners. See, there's one right there. Ready to go. See him right here? There's one. And then there's two. Jane. There's one. And then there's two. They're going to take off. Jane. Oh, there's a whole herd. Oh my goodness, there's a whole herd. I didn't even see that. Oh goodness. There was like tons of them. I didn't even see them. That is funny. Jane. Shh. Hush. That was a whole herd. Oh, one's still there. One is still there. He's still there. Looking at me like he must be the master of the herd or the leader. I was wondering why Jane was still barking a little bit. She usually don't bark too much in this. But there's a whole herd of them. He's still standing there. Okay, enough about that. So back to what I was saying about the tithing, okay? Yes, it does say that you're to give to the church. And we are supposed to tithe to the church. And it does say in the scriptures that we are to tithe to the church. And the church is to use that tithing to support the church. Listen to me now. The church, not the pastor. Okay, the pastor does get paid somewhat by the church, but it's not to support him or his family. Now, where they're getting it all twisted and all in their favor is where they seem to think that they don't have to work, that their only job is to be that pastor and that the church is supposed to pay them and that their family is supposed to live off the church. Now, here's where they got it twisted and got it wrong, okay? By doing so, you're basically charging people for God's free gospel. Okay, his gospel is free, and you're supposed to be giving it to the people freely, okay? The people, the congregation, is to help and come together and give part of their money that they was blessed with from the God to give back to the needy, the poor, and those who need it. So therefore, that church is to take that and use it to support the church so the church is still there, and then to use the rest of it to give back to the community so that there is no poor man among you. There is no starving among you. And why do we see so many cities with big churches and all this money, but have all these homeless people, have all these children living on the streets, have all these military vets homeless? How many people come to the congregation of that church and go back home and starve? You can, as a members of the church, you see the people in your congregation and you know that they're wearing the same clothes. You know that they're starving, yet you haven't done anything to help them. But you are sitting there correcting the people in your congregation, telling them that they need to sow this seed so that it can be blessed by God, which you know is a lie. and you're just using that as a form to steal. So you think that you're just stealing from these people, but let me explain something to you. You're stealing from God. You're stealing from God. Okay, only in the last days of Aaron and Aaron's sons, when they was in the tabernacle, running around in the wilderness, did it all belong to the people, to Aaron and them. And even they used that to disperse amongst the people around them. See, that was part of their inheritance. Okay? That was part of their inheritance. They didn't get the land. They didn't get the land. They got that. Now, after they are no longer in the church, then it's the rest, and it all now belongs to the community. Okay? Let me explain something to you. When Jesus was preaching and teaching, did he take up a collection plate for all the 5,000 and wherever he went when he preached his free gospel? No. In fact, what did he do? He fed the congregation. He didn't collect from them. Not one time. Also, you also have the letters of Paul, where he wrote to the churches, stating and making a point and saying that he did not freeload off of them, that he sat there and continued on and continued to make tents for the people and met with other tent makers. He didn't collect for them. He did not use the money that the church had to support him while he was there and visiting. No, he supported himself. Jesus supported himself. Why do you think they said that he was a carpenter? You think he was sitting there doing carpentry at the age of 12? Which of course he could have been, but he also said he was also teaching at the age of 12 also. Okay? So you are to support yourself. Not only that, but in the letters that Paul wrote, he also made a statement saying that those that are in the church that is sitting there and taking the money that belong to the church to give to the poor because they are too lazy to work. He confronted them about that. If you are able to get up and go work, then you are to go work. And that includes the pastors, the preachers. So notice the senior pastor devotes all his time to the church and should therefore get paid to sit there and be prayed off the church. That is incorrect. That is wrong. It states it in the Bible that it's wrong. Paul is telling you that it's wrong. Jesus, as an example, is telling you that it is wrong. Because his gospel is free. You are to share that word freely. Him and his disciples, when they went about, they didn't collect from the people. The people donated. They stayed in their houses. And then the things that they did collect, what did they do? They spent all that time giving it back, helping the children that people were just throwing away on the streets, all the abandoned children, helping the needy. They was not letting nobody go hungry or starving. You didn't hear about them to turn around and build houses for themselves, big old mega houses. That was not what was happening. So obviously they wasn't keeping that money for themselves. They was giving it back to the community, what it was meant for. In the letters to the churches, when it talks about them collecting the money from the churches and the tithing, it was being dispersed back into the community. And he was thanking them. Even the ones that didn't even have that much donation gave more than what was donated back to the community. So you pastors sitting there saying that the tithing belongs to the church so that you can be lazy and not work is wrong. You're preaching the same thing as saying that sowing the seed of money, you will then turn around and reap a big harvest. You're preaching prosperity gospel that is not true. You're teaching a lie about reaping and sowing that has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with money. So you sitting there saying that the tithing belongs to the pastors because they're giving it to the church for you to keep it, yet the church is not doing nothing for the community of the people that tithing. You are not only stealing from your congregation, you're stealing from God, and you will answer to God for it. So you keep on preaching these lies But you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to anybody, because the only person that you're going to be listening to is when God, he comes and puts that judgment upon you. So you keep doing that if you want to. You keep lying to these people if you want to. But the only problem is you're going to have to answer to God. And God's wrath ain't no joke.